Hello, it's Alina GG, and today I have a very special guest for you. I have Monica. She is an author, a spiritual teacher, and an alternative therapist. Welcome aboard.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Pleasure, pleasure. I know there's lots of magic lined up for this chat, so stay tuned. So let's begin. Oh, I can already feel like energy moving. So look, you're there in your beautiful setting where you do treatments there. Let's tell us what lights you up. What's the essence of what you do?
Well, I always wanted to have this deep connection with spirit because from a very young age, I just felt that there was something more than what I could see. I I knew there was some sort of a secret. And so I kept asking my parents, like, what are you holding back from me? What is this secret that I need to know? Just give me all the information. And my parents, like, we are not hiding anything. It's like, yeah. And my siblings would go like, yeah, that you're adopted. So they were trying to make fun of the whole situation. I've always been very, very sensitive. And I'm still a very high empath. And eventually, when I turned 18, everything kind of opened up for me. I went to see a beautician. And as soon as I walked in, she's like, "You are not here for beauty." So I'm going to take you to this other room and I'm going to do a reading for you. And so then she took me under her wing for a couple of years. And after that, I started studying tarot, which was incredible. That was my first introduction with conversations with spirit. And I started doing channel writing when I was in my probably 20 years old, 19, 20. And so I have books and books of me just writing spirit. And then eventually I got to meet one of my spirit guides, and this beautiful spirit guide loves the mechanics of the universe. So, somewhat, I started being taught a little bit about the mechanics of the universe, and that it's an incredible passion I have. I love the mix between science and spirituality. I'm a very grounded energy healer. That's why I call myself an alternative therapist instead. I'm all up for the merge of the science that we have available in the medical system and all the knowledge that we have from the spirit world, and just see what that combination brings us. I think we can really move forward really fast. And through these channelings, I then started writing a book called Living in a Being. So, living on something much bigger than us, what we call obviously the universe. And I started getting really into epigenetics. And this is when the cellular memory release technique came through. And in this book, I explain all about it, a little bit about the basics of the energy system, like the chakras, but also this beautiful technique that it's going to allow you to just talk to yourselves and just remove anything that doesn't serve you any longer, that we have been holding in there for a long, 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 long time. Through my years of spiritual journeying, I discovered past lives. And also, I think that we have a lot in ourselves that comes from past lives. To me, nothing else rather than past lives makes any sense for spiritual evolution, or the evolution of our light. But I do see past life regression therapy and past life regressions a little bit different than other therapies will see it. And that is why I mostly focus on this cellular memory and cellular memory release.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's amazing. All of that.
thanks.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's true. Like, okay, let's just strip it back. It's all energy. It's all energy, right?
Yes.
So where to from here? We're here. We're in this being that's all these different dimensions and all these different experiences and memories. And then we having this experience, this human experience. And so what happens is we come up against a bit of resistance, and then how do we get through it?
Yes. And the thing for me is like we are here in this experience, very, very simple. Like to me, the universe, it's really simple. It's not that complicated, and we love to make things super complicated. But to me, we're in this experience to be able to come into the physical world, to co-create with the universe. It's like if God or the universe or prana, all that is, sits there going like, I wonder what this being is now gonna co-create, to be able to add to that grid or prana or universe a bit of information, our collaboration of information, to be able to expand and to be able to move forward, because the universe is always moving forward and expanding. The thing is, like a lot of the times we expand because we never go backwards. We expand from a place of negative past experiences, while we could create from that place of pureness of our essence. And that, I think, it's what it's important for me to help people to get back to who they really are. So then when they are in that essence of co-creation, and when they are in that essence of contribution to the universe, they come from that space of pure light, that resonates with them, that it's only them able to channel this specific information. You know, we are all beautiful channels of light, but so different. And I think that that is what makes us all really special. It's not that we are all going to reinvent the wheel, but we all can channel the wheel in different forms. And that's what makes such an interesting experience for all of us.
That's beautiful. That's like a rainbow wheel.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
coming on the back of what you just said, like I set an intention yesterday that in 2024 I'm only going to create from love.
Mm.
And it's like we don't need to really decide with our minds what we want, because unfortunately then it's like can be more about an issue of control or having things to look a certain way, or the ego can take over. But what I this is okay, based on what I feel is true. If we align to our hearts and come back to center and tune into what's calling us, what's calling our soul, and then it's like we're meeting halfway, and that's the co-creation, is that middle point. And there's a beautiful flow of energy in there. And if that's kept at that sort of high vibe, it's only good things are going to come out of that, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yes. And I feel that that when you create from that place of love and uniqueness, the world will find balance, because a lot of times we are in the lack type of state. Most of us are in the lack type of state, which means that if I don't want to do that because it's already enough people doing it, or there is no one is going to want to clean the streets, for example. But there is people that the life mission is to clean the ocean. The life mission is to deal with rubbish, you know?
Yep.
So I think that we all are in line with our life mission and with our calling. We will see this incredible and beautiful balance in the world that we probably had thousands and thousands of years ago. And that's how we were able to survive without so much technology and so much advancement, because there was this beautiful balance. And now with that energy of lack, which in turn turns into that big ego and that power driven co-creation, we can definitely bring the world back into balance. I just feel that not everyone gets into that journey or has the opportunity to go like, hey, what am I here to do? Like, I know, coming from Venezuela, which is a very poor country, the reason I left is because like I'm never gonna pursue my spiritual needs or my spiritual soul wisdom if I'm here fighting for my life.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
but the majority of the world, it's in that fight or flight. So there is no space for girls to go, oh, what is my life mission? You know,
Yeah.
but here in Australia, we're pretty lucky that we have the opportunity to do that.
Exactly. That is a total privilege. And yeah, you're right. Yeah. Thank you
Mm.
for that perspective and sharing that. Yeah.
Yes, so it's my wish for the world that everyone has that opportunity.
Yeah. And I guess that
Right.
really is world peace, right?
Yes, that's it. When everyone is like, okay, we have our basic needs covered. What's next for me? Now I can focus on like, oh, what's my life mission?
Yeah. And we actually have the capacity to do that right now. So,
Oh, and
you know,
and I was just doing a story recording a story for today, and I just wrote this paper. Sorry, I'm gonna grab it. I just so it's $100. Let's imagine that there is $100 in the world, and you know where is those $100 now placed in the world? And you know it is in finances, it is in mining, it is in pharmaceutical companies, it is in retail and manufacturing. A lot of that money is on that, on creating plastic, and so for us to be able to start creating that change, I feel that we need to balance where those $100 that the world has are going to be invested, and then we can then all focus on creating a better cellular memory for us. We can all focus on healing that trauma that we have had from the last 200 years have been pretty horrible.
fantastic point. That's amazing. You know, we're each responsible for how we spend our resources and we can make those conscious decisions. And I've got two parts to this that I'd love to add is like one could be, you know, investing in yourself and your personal development, your healing. That's gonna get things happening because when we are more heart aligned and in our truth, we're gonna make smarter like decisions anyway, and
Yeah.
more conscious decisions. And then so yeah, I had another point, but I've
Yeah.
forgotten it.
Well, investing in good food, so
Yeah.
important, rather than that investing on the rubbish that it's at the moment available in the supermarkets, you know, just
Mm.
putting that investment on creating nourishing and amazing foods. For that, it's really, really important. For me, education, it's one of the most important things that we could invest our money in. And like you said, that's personal development, but also education for the future generations, you know.
Yes. And I think on a positive note, these next generations that are emerging and starting to be consumers in the world, they're actually more conscious and they're making like the younger generation is making decisions on buying things because they are, you know, friendly for the earth and they have like an amazing, you know, business attached to it that's actually helping people generate incomes where they wouldn't otherwise be able to. And even if it's buying coffee, you know, it's
Yeah.
that it's like beautiful. Like I love talking about conscious business. Like this is where the world's heading, and there's so many people like doing an amazing, you know, services and products in relation to this. So what a great era to be in from that perspective.
Definitely. And which brings me to then the collective consciousness. And for me, working on your cellular memory and working with your traumas and working with the information that you are carrying that it's negative, and turning it into positive, it's going to in turn keep feeding this collective consciousness of incredible positivity and in turn raise the vibration of the whole world. Yes.
Mhm.
Mm,
Fantastic. Yeah, well, that's what, you know, Mother Teresa said, it takes a checkbook to save the world. So this is just highlighting that point.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so with memory, cellular memory, you have a little practice we can do now, don't you?
Yes, definitely. So before we get into the practice, I just want to explain you a few key points about cellular memory. The first thing is that everything you do, it's a negative cellular memory release, any form of healing, that you do. So if you go in for a surgery, you are removing negative cellular memory. And then a bunch of other cells are going to come in and rewrite that chapter, hopefully with positive cellular memory. When you do Reiki, what you're doing is trying to rewrite negative cellular memory. when you do hypnosis, you're definitely trying to reprogram that negative cellular memory. So when you're taking a pharmaceutical or using an essential oil, you are rewriting negative cellular memory. So any form of healing, at the core, it's going to be a cellular memory repatterning. But this cellular memory, it's always, obviously, most of it is hidden. It's not always present. Yeah, for some people it might be, people that it's really suffering right now, but most time it's hidden. And an example of this would be that, my mom has carpal tunnel syndrome. Yep, and my dad worked with a lot of chemicals through his life, so his wrists are also not great. And so when at times, if I've been working in the computer for a long time, I get a sore wrist at night time, and so I just know, although I understand that it's coming from overworking my wrist with the mouse, I also understand that I have a disposition for that cellular memory. Mm-hmm. But like a lot of the medical system and a lot of us blame a lot of things on genetics, but genetics only has about 2% of that disposition of giving us a negative cellular memory. Yes. So when we're like, oh, I have to do these tests every year because my father died of this, or I have to do this every year because my mom had that. That it's really, if you live the life that your parents live, if you go through the same stresses, if you go through the same emotions, if you eat the same food, if you live in the same location, if you follow the same patterns, then I believe that you might get the same illnesses as your parents. But if you're doing something actively to change that negative cellular memory, then there is no reason why you need to go into the same path. Yeah, it's only 2% of a chance that that's going to happen. So for me, working with your negative cellular memory, although you can come and see a practitioner, it is important that you do something when that cellular memory presents. So in my example, I work with the negative cellular memory that I have stored in my wrists when wrist pain presents. I'm not constantly working on my wrist, although I do exercise my wrist by playing frisbee. I go to the gym and exercise, to keep my wrists fit. I am going to, when that pain presents, I have a window opening where I can now work with a negative cellular memory. So because our subconscious, same as our cellular memory, the majority of them, it's kind of dormant, it's kind of hidden, it's kind of in the background. Yeah. So when it comes into the conscious, it's when we can actually work with it and program it and rewrite it. So what I want to invite everyone to do is that when something presents, might be a negative thought, might be a memory of your mom just talking to you, whatever it was, like, don't do that, blah, 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 with your mom's voice. A window has opened or a pain. So you have that opening. And there is a statement that I downloaded from Spirit, which is, and just close your eyes. And so just think of that moment or that time that might be bothering you, or that pain that you might have right now in your body. And I want you to really connect with that. And just really, if it's a pain or if it's a memory, might be an emotional pain, really feel into that pain and see if that pain, if it's emotional, if it's stored in any part of your body or your etheric field, see if you can feel it, where you can pinpoint it. And if it's a thought, see in which part of your brain it's stored. Where can you actually see it? And when you are really in tune and connected with that, now you have created a connection and an activation. And I want you to ask or command your energy field. At this particular time and in this space, I would like to delete, release, transcend, transmute, and transform any negative cellular memory attached to this particular matter. And please now let's send it to the most appropriate place where it can be released and not harm anyone else. And let's now bring clear, cosmic, pure energy full of new positive possibilities to take place right here, right now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then you can release and let it go. So it's a very short statement.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. Thank you. Yeah.
So where did it take you, if you don't mind sharing?
Oh yeah. So for me, I felt the back of my neck, a bit of tension. I went to like a conscious danced for 2 hours last night, and
Wow.
it was great. It was fun.
Yes.
5 rhythms on a morning star, amazing. Yeah, so that's in the tradition of Gabrielle Roth from New York. And so my neck, when I was graduating from acting college, I had a car accident, and it was like a near-death experience. I was 21 and my car got totaled, and I got whiplash and, a fractured wrist and things. Yeah. And so that put me on the spiritual path. And so then I went and sat with my pain for 10 days and did the Vipassana silent retreat.
Yes. Yes.
And then I backpacked all around the world and so and studied yoga in India and overseas. And yeah. So that was my little turning point, big turning point, actually. And so then over the years it used to, bother me quite badly with severe pain and migraines. And yeah, it hasn't been bothering me much at all for quite a while. And it's not really, and it's interesting because it doesn't even feel like pain, and it doesn't even feel emotional. It just feels like it came up today just so I could experience that clearing at that deeper level with you today. So it's like perfect that it was there. Like it's beautiful. So I'm just going to trust that whatever we just did is going to release it, and then I can always try again, because I think that's so powerful.
Try again. So just connect with that pain and go. I delete, release, and uncreate any negative cellular memory attached to that neck, attached to that bone, and send it to the most appropriate place. And then place it with clear cosmic energy full of new positive possibilities, and sit with it until the clearing is done. Then say thank you. You can also repeat the mantra clear, 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 clear for a little bit. Then bring in the clear cosmic energy, download it into your system, and then say thank you. So it is all about, like, because when our cells get confused, they follow the wrong leader. That's all what happens. For example, with cancer, let's say one cell gets the wrong information and then pretends to be a leader, and then a bunch of cells just follow. And so the cancer keeps growing. The idea is to rewrite that cellular memory. So they go like, oh my God, okay, that was wrong. And they self-destroy themselves. That process is called apoptosis in science, where the cell recognizes that it's like, oh, I'm sick, and poof, self-destroy. It is, and your immune system, it also takes over. So it is just about recognizing that there is something attaching there and just commanding your etheric field to rewrite that process. And I feel I have worked with all sorts of patients throughout the years. I've worked with a lot of cancer patients because I did volunteer for 12 months at the Royal Adelaide Hospital as a healer. And the cellular memory release was a very powerful process to take someone through and to start creating that change from the inside out. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. Did you witness some miraculous healing?
I haven't witnessed any miraculous healing with the cellular memory release. It's something that I take people through. The full therapy, it's a type of hypnosis. So what I have noticed is that things that were triggered before, they don't trigger anymore. So just like any type of hypnosis, really, it's like, okay, this used to bother me before and now it doesn't bother me anymore. So that's what happens with the cellular memory release. It's a very, very, very specific type of therapy, and I usually attach it to emotions. So if I had an hour to be with you, for example, and to be able to work in the neck, we will be first of all figure out what is the emotion that is attached to that pain that pop up today, and then I would work with that emotion. So when you work with the emotions, doesn't only clear what is happening in that part of your body right now, but it also clears all the other things that are attached to your body through that emotion. So it's a kind of a bigger clearing. The biggest miraculous things that I have experienced in my practice, it's when I actually help people get rid of negative entities. So so they which in turn they might be creating negative cellular memory in your body, but yeah, because cellular memory is so specific and so small, I think it's something that you need to work over time, rather than like, poof, I changed a whole bunch of cells just with that one sentence. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just basically we change one cell at the time.
Mm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's it. It's the consistency, right? When we see any success in any area of our lives, our health, our wellness, our relationships, our business, it's about that incremental growth and that consistency. And that's what ultimately leads to shifts and changes and results. And yes, I believe in things can happen quickly and clear quickly, and there can be in quantum leap and everything, like, and you can stretch out time and do all these things. Yes, I've experienced all that. However, at our sovereignty and our sense of self-responsibility is to make those aligned actions and those decisions, and then consistently keep going with that, keep moving forward. We don't stay still. Life is always moving, it's always evolving. So things evolve or dissolve, they don't stay the same. And so we have to, when we go into that momentum and that movement, then spirit can bring in more blessings to us, because we're taking action and we're taking responsibility for ourselves.
I totally believe in miracles, and we will have to do another
Yeah,
interview
I know.
to go into the science of miracles and how miracles actually work. And I strongly believe that, and that has happened, that you do a cellular memory release and then the pain is gone. However, if you are not ready to remove all the patterns that you follow, the pain is going to come back. So it is not that you cannot create a miracle. Not at all, but it's like that miracle needs to be supported with lots of different actions and not just one simple kind of action. Yeah, because as soon as you might create a miracle, but as soon as you walk into your home, then you get into the same patterns. As soon as you have the next meal, you are going into the same patterns. You know, as soon as you face an issue on the roads, you get into the same patterns. So creating a miracle, it's definitely and absolutely possible, but there needs to be, there is often a huge kind of, how can I explain, a huge kind of transformation. In the tarot, we will see the Tower card, you know? So that often happens when something really major will happen, like a car accident, you know? Or something really major needs to happen for you to be able to change a lot of patterns at the same time. Yeah, and that, then definitely a miracle is totally possible. But with cellular memory release, it's just like an ongoing process for you not to recreate those same patterns. And then in turn, with time, you're going to be able to get definitely, like, not many people will pick that I have 2 fractures on my back. So I don't take any painkillers. I'm not in pain. If I show people the X-rays on my back, people like I'm gonna see a neurosurgeon every about 7 years just to see the progress of it all. But I have seen about 3 neurosurgeons in the last, I don't know, 15 years or something in different parts of Australia. And they all like, okay, that is interesting. Whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. We can't touch you because we're gonna wreck whatever you're doing. So basically, I am creating more space for my nerves rather than contracting the space. So if that is my diet, yoga, or my cellular memory release, I'm not sure, but I definitely try to create an environment for myself that it's going to support that for me for sure.
Wow. And what I'm receiving now is, as you're physically creating more space for your nerves, that's allowing your nervous system to be calmer and more in a state of homeostasis and more neutral, probably in like your pH balance and everything, because you're in that sattva, it's like that state. And then that's where healing is. That's where healing and love is.
Yeah. And you can feel the rest of my spine, it's kind of like, okay, it's trying to find its way. And then at times, okay, so now this part of my spine, it's now readjusting itself to be able to recreate that. Okay, what can I recreate in this opportunity? How can I make more space for my nerves than in this part of my spine too? So your body, like what people needs to understand, and I mean by people, the whole world, including the medical system, is that your body, it's never going to try to go against you. Your body, it's always going to try to work with you, but you need to work with your body too, and you need to give your body what it's asking. But how many people goes to Vipassana, for example, just to be able to listen to your body for 12 days and what it's asking. And yeah, so it is about really tuning in, and I feel cellular memory therapy, or negative cellular memory release, or cellular memory repatterning, it's a great opportunity for you to communicate with your body and to start giving your body what it needs, and in turn it's going to give you or your soul what you need.
Yes, amazing. Wow. Thank you so much for joining me. And
Thank you.
how can people work with you, Monica?
Well, I am located at the moment in the Sunshine Coast, and people can find me on my webpage, which is theenchantress.com. You can also find me on Facebook. There is only one Monica Finazzo, which is great. A lot of people finds me also through my products, like my oracle, the Oracle of the Essences, or
Wow.
my book, which is the book I was mentioning, Living in a Being. You can come and see me face to face, but I do lots and lots of things online as well. I have lots of clients all around the world. And yeah, it's I would love to be able to help lots of people out there. It is my life mission, not only to help people through therapy, but also through teachings. So I do have, I teach certified courses that are beautiful. I train energy healer practitioners, and I have been doing that for the past 9 years. And so, yeah, I teach that course part online with a retreat in the Sunshine Coast, or fully face-to-face with a retreat in the Sunshine Coast. So yeah, that's how people
Beautiful. Thank you. I really appreciate our conversation today. It was amazing. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much for having me. See you next
Pleasure.
time.
Bye.
Bye.